Greetings and salutations, this is Emperor Vespasian and his trusty sidekick.
Hello!
We're having a look at the BT7 from the Soviet Army. Early war tank, used pretty much in, used in all of the Soviet Union's early wars up to the Second World War, sorry, getting all confused there for a second. It is a standard light tank, so it's got an armour of 8+, which is good, because it's better than an armoured car, or a G26, which is rubbish, because it's only got armour of 7. It's armed with a standard light anti-tank gun, which is, for the Russians, it was actually one of the best light anti-tank guns of the war. It will be eclipsed in later years by other guns, but at the time, the 45mm gun was a pretty good gun. The tank itself carries 2 machine guns, and this is actually very useful because it means you can lay down 8 dice against enemy infantry, which is quite good. I like that. I like machine guns on tanks. I think tanks should have lots of machine guns. I think tanks with few amounts of machine guns are silly. Yeah, but machine guns are important for tanks because mostly you're taking on enemy infantry. The idea of a tank is to have a vehicle capable of taking out enemy tanks, but also to support infantry, and these guys are designed to support infantry, primarily. The fact that it has an anti-tank gun was never really meant to be important. It was mainly a machine gun carrier.
Support them.
Yeah, think of early Soviet military doctrine. It was also, I should mention something about this tank, it was the first Russian tank to have handholds all over it so men could drive on the back. So it was the first tank descent scheme vehicle.
I was thinking about the name and he just got into that.
Yeah, the first vehicle designed by the Russians to physically carry soldiers into battle, which is very useful.
And everybody else came up with that same idea.
Not really. Yeah, they did, but I think the Russians went into handholds in a big way for tanks, particularly things like the T-34.
And particularly in Finland.
Well, you needed it in Finland, didn't you, for the Winter War? Yes. Also, these tanks were used to pull skiers. There were 2 hooks on the back to attach a ski rope.
I'm sure it's going to a holiday vehicle.
No, it was a holiday vehicle. Basically, hey, let's go on holiday to Finland with some skis, and we'll all sit on the back of the tank where the engine's nice and warm, and then we'll do some skiing behind it, and while we're there we might fight the Finns and take the country for ourselves.
Just Maine.
Yeah, just Maine. Yeah, it didn't work out. It was a really bad holiday destination. They packed sunblock instead of warm winter gear. Didn't work out. Although Molotov did drop some bread at one point, which was very nice of him. And then the Finns had some vodka to go with the bread, some alcohol to go with the bread, the cocktails to go with the bread. That's it now. Molotov cocktails. In case you haven't got a clue what I'm talking about, Molotov bombed Finland, and the Finns said, "Hey, Molotov's bombing Finland," and the Russians said, "No, we're not bombing Finland. We're dropping food parcels, dropping loaves of bread on the Finns." So the Molotov cocktail was made as a joke. Here's some cocktail to go with your bread. A petrol bomb basically to set fire to your tank or your soldiers. We're not throwing petrol bombs at you, we're giving you a cocktail to go with your bread, that sort of thing. Anyway, the T20, what is it? BT7, sorry.
BT7, duh.
Actually, there's very little difference between the BT5 and the BT7 Model Y.
How dare you?
No, there isn't.
It has a different name.
Yeah. They were pretty much the same. And I begrudge finding really any difference other than the design of the turret. All the stats are roughly the same for it, and certainly in bolt action they're identical. Rules wise, there's no difference really. They're both light tanks, they're both tracked, they both carry a light anti-tank gun, and they both have machine guns. So that's really all you get.
And it has skis.
And skis, yes, you can have skis on the back as well, which is for, sport, totally. Yeah, like all those glider clubs that Germany had, and all the airplane clubs. Well, the aeroplane enthusiasts used to go during the Treaty of Versailles. Like, yeah, we totally don't have an army that we can call on at any time. We just have a lot of people into extreme sports. Yeah.
Yes, just aim at that English flag. Yes. We're bullseye.
Yeah. So that's it. That is really all I've got to say about the tank. Where was it used? It was used heavily against the Japanese. They were never sold to China for some reason. Don't know why. Maybe the Chinese just didn't like them. But the Chinese bought practically everything the Russians had, so I don't really know why they didn't sell these to them.
Of course, it was better than the ones that sold them.
Yeah, maybe the Russians are selling rubbish stuff, i.e. the T-26. We're going to sell the good stuff.
Not inflatables. They're selling inflatables. So I just watched that Dami, so I just had to kind of see these things that I've just seen.
So they did see a lot of battle at Kaklin Gol. One of these tanks is still there today. It's the first tank to be knocked out at Kaklin Gol. They left it there as a landmark. Which is an interesting thing if you care. It's still there. It is. No one cares. Okay. I know all this stuff, there's no reason knowing it really, because no one cares.
Apart from the 311 subscribers you have.
Well, they might care. Well, they care about Kaklin Gol. Kaklin Gol was the big war between Japan and China. Japan and Russia. It was never a war, officially. It was never classed as a war. It's just the Chinese and the Russians happened to be doing military exercises in the same place and using each other as targets. While they both went to the United Nations and said, no, we're not at war. So it wasn't it was the League of Nations then. Yes, how wonderful. And they both said they weren't at war, and they fought the war and came to an agreement before too many men died, which was kind of lucky for Russia, because otherwise they would have found themselves fighting a war on two fronts, which probably would have meant they would have lost. So, kind of saved their bacon, really. Also, it defeated Japan because after fighting the Russians, the Japanese decided the best thing to do for their future would be to invade China. So, obviously, they didn't like fighting the Russians very much. But anyway, that's about it.
The Chinese had the exact same vehicles as the Russians.
Yes, the Chinese.
So it's basically fighting Russians.
Very true, yes. I think whoever they were going to be fighting, the Japanese were going to have trouble. On one side they had China.
They were winning against China.
Yeah, to an extent. They did suffer horrific defeats.
And then Russia defeated Germany, and then you had Russia and China ganging up on America. After Wuhan and Chang'e, it was pretty much game over for the Japanese. They were the Stalingrads of China, and after that, the Japanese knew they would simply crumble.
They were buying time. That's all. They were just biding time. That's when they started to withdraw out of the Pacific, and that's why America never got invaded or attacked, because there was no point sending troops to try and island hop towards America when you've got China bombing your cities. So, yeah. That's the thing about the Doolittle raid. They go on about the Doolittle raid. People, little historians and gamers, talk about the Doolittle raid and say how important it was, because after the Doolittle raid, the Japanese turned around. Yeah, the Chinese had been bombing Japan from 1937 off and on. So it wasn't like the Chinese weren't used to bombing, and the amount of planes in the Doolittle raid that actually hit anything was tiny. So it was an American propaganda thing. The Japanese were far more worried about the Chinese, who really were bombing them and really were hitting them. In fact, one of the stupidest raids the Chinese did, they wanted to prove to the Japanese that they could bomb Japan, and the Japanese government had told the Japanese people, we can never be bombed, we'll be safe. And so they flew all these planes over Tokyo, and the Japanese who had no anti-aircraft guns around Tokyo at all, because it couldn't be bombed, it's impossible. And all these planes flew over, and everyone's completely panicking in the streets, and they dropped leaflets.
And he was saying that we can bomb them.
Saying, we can bomb you. And of course, what did that do? It meant everyone said, I totally support the Japanese army, let's invade China. It's just like the opposite effect. So the war party...
Let's just stop leaflets, just bomb Tokyo, not adopt leaflets. That's a mistake.
So the fascist war party then gets total support from the cabinet, and that's it. That's absolutely dumb. But, there's these funny things that happen during warfare.
Often happen.
Well, they do things, stuff happens. But I do like these tanks, they're quite nice. I keep saying I like things, that's why I own them, I like everything I own. I mean, there's not really anything I don't like. I find the T26...
Like game room?
I find the T26 annoying. Yeah, I do like the gaming room.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I don't think I own it though.
Yeah.
Mrs. owns it.
And so, Mrs., who taught you to speak?
Mrs.
Seriously,
Mrs.
peasant. Mrs. Good God, I didn't bring you up to speak like that.
Oh, God.
Speaking like a commoner. My God, sir.
I'm saying, Papa.
Oh, sorry, it's been one of those days. It's a really long day. It's a Sunday afternoon at the moment while we're filming this. And
Just have to watch Dad's Army.
Yeah, he's just watched Dad's Army. I've just been watching Stefan Molyneux online, just relaxing. And it's just one of those lazy Sunday afternoons when you've had all the baths you could possibly have that day. If you have another one, it would just be decadent. So instead, you decide you'd come downstairs into your gaming room to get away from the silly people who are hoovering and cleaning upstairs, and just make videos about gaming figures. It's really the sad life we lead, isn't it?
I recorded this morning, me. I did all this recording. Guess what happened? The voice recording was all done wrong apart from one. So I had to list them all but one.
Well, that's a shame. You need to get a microphone.
I have got a microphone. I just got a really expensive one because I can't bother to get one.
Right. Anyway, I think we've gone completely off topic again. One does apologise. Actually, I don't.
Like every video.
Yeah, we do that in every video.
You used to it by now, come on.
Yeah, you must know that watching our videos means you don't get what it says on the tin. I mean, it'll have a title of the BT7 tank, and we'll talk about the BT7 for 5 minutes and then go off talking about the Womble invasion of Afghanistan. So, there we have it. You do the intro thing.
So intro.
Extra.
I'm tired to speak like that.
Don't like to speak.
Yes, we're trying.
Don't speak like that round here.
It's a safe choice for you.
They just love Sundays.
No, I hate Sundays. Like Saturdays more.
Sundays are just so pointless. I don't know who thought they were.
I can't do the
In the old days, what Sundays were for? They were for you to basically go to church. And the idea was you would go to church and give money to the church, which is basically another form of paying taxes. And so the government realised no one was going to church anymore, so they decided to let you work on Sundays so you could pay more taxes to them instead, which is kind, wasn't it?
So if you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe and comment down below how our awesome life story of how we wake up in the morning, watch Stefan Molyneux, watch Dad's Army, and then come down here and escape from life.
Yeah.
That's everything from me.
And that's everything from him. Good day. Did I say good day? I said goodbye.
Yes. Yes, Papa.
Yes, now we're going to leave.
Yes.
I need a small drink.
Press the record button up quick.
Yes, I need a small drink and maybe a glass of... No, I was thinking a glass of something warm to put my feet in. You never watched the Goons, have you? You never listened to the Goons. I'm going to teach you about the Goon Show. I'm going to go and find some Goon Show tapes and you're going to listen to them. And
Turn the recording off already!
Goodbye.